I now give the floor to the Representative of Algeria.
Mr. President, thank you for convening this crucial meeting. Our gratitude goes to the briefers for their insightful interventions and to the Secretary General for his comprehensive report. A report that lays bare the alarming reality on civilians who continue to suffer the scourge of armed conflict, with a staggering 72% increase in civilian casualties compared to 2022. It is a most unfortunate situation as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Geneva Conventions, the cornerstone of international humanitarian law, and the 25th anniversary of the adoption of the landmark resolution 1265, which places the protection of civilians in conflict areas at the forefront of the Security Council's agenda. Although this legal framework is universally acknowledged and mandatory, we bear witness to how the occupying power in the occupied Palestinian territories bends it and flout it with impunity. Israeli occupying forces have deliberately targeted civilians and civilian infrastructures. This is fact. More than 35,303 fatalities, among them 32% children. 171 UNRWA installations targeted. 493 health workers killed. 193 UN staff killed. 147 journalists and media workers killed. These figures are increasing as we speak now. This policy constitutes a war crime and collective punishment. Starving innocent civilians or targeting them directly is explicitly prohibited by international humanitarian law, which forbids any form of collective punishment against civilian populations. They aim to eliminate an entire people and strip them of their remaining legitimate rights, foremost among them their right to life, self-determination, and to establish their state on their land in accordance with the provisions of international law. Mr. President, the situation in Gaza raises the fundamental question of the raison d'etre of the rule of law if it cannot protect the most sacred of existences, the lives of civilians. This brings us to the larger problem of how to ensure that all parties to a conflict adhere to international humanitarian and human rights law. In the absence of a deterrent mechanism that compels parties to seriously consider the consequences of violating the law, strengthening compliance with these laws must be central to the protection of civilians' agenda and rendered truly effective. To this end, we emphasize the following points. First, full respect of international humanitarian law and international human rights law is the cornerstone of ensuring the protection of civilians. We stress the importance of adopting a mechanism through which the Security Council is automatically notified of any flagrant and documented violation of international humanitarian law. Second, accountability for all those who have violated international humanitarian law. The multilateral system must be empowered to end impunity and ensure compliance with international law. Third, adopting a comprehensive approach that ensures all efforts at all levels are directed towards facilitating communication, coordination, and access to necessary humanitarian assistance. Fourth, mobilizing the necessary resources and assistance is an urgent necessity to meet the growing needs of civilians in conflict areas. We stress the need for all donors to fulfill their obligations in providing the necessary assistance and not prioritize some relief efforts over others. Finally, all proposals regarding the protection of civilians in conflict areas and the facilitation of humanitarian access remain partial solutions unless the root causes are addressed and sustainable solutions to conflicts are found in a way that ensures the stability and security of all countries. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Algeria for his important statement.